everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Islandish Podcast here on the Superior Talk Network. I have here in the chair creative director, fashion designer, and in my personal opinion, a fashion icon, Mr. Richard Shepherd. You may know him as Rich McCoy. Round of applause. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Now, for those people who do not know who you are, let them know about you, where you're from, your brand, and what you want them to know about you just generally.
As she stated, I am Richard. Most people know me by Richie McCoy. Most of my colleagues, relatives, they call me Rich for short. I am the creative director, fashion designer, founder of the Richie McCoy brand. And yeah, I am a 20... Oops.
You forget your age sometimes.
Ooh, I want to be 20-something really bad.
I know, right?
I am 33 years old and I am from Freeport, Grand Bahama.
I love that. I love that. Child, I saw people like 29 too. It's be like that. It's be like that.
I almost said 29.
I know.
I will not lie to these people.
Right. So with your brand, first off, what gave you the idea or inspiration to start a luxury brand?
You know what's crazy? I always loved dressing up as a child growing up. That was always my thing. Even in high school, when it was dress up day, like people always used to be like, you know, you look so good. If it's one thing I could say about you, every time it's dress up day, you really keep yourself really nicely. And crazy enough, when I was in the 10th grade and we got to choose courses,
right,
I chose to be in architectural design.
Okay.
And I remember my architecture teacher, right? She was like, I see you around the school drawing dress up day and you keep yourself really nice. Why don't you go and be in fashion and design?
Right.
And I was like, I don't know. I think me and the teacher, we're going to butt heads.
Okay.
And crazy enough, 3 years later, when I was done with high school, I found myself having a strong interest in fashion design. And I was like, you wasted 3 years of your life when this woman told you, you know, go ahead and do that because I could see that being something that you would be really good at. And I felt as though the Bahamas needed a swimwear brand.
Okay.
As you all know, I started out in swimwear. And I felt as though like swimwear would have been like really good because, you know, it represents us in the islands, the country. We're surrounded by water.
So fancy.
Right. Why not focus on a swimwear brand? And at that time, the androgyne print was really a thing.
Yes.
So I thought maybe, you know, make swimsuits with androgyne print. And, you know, as time progressed, if you want to go into other things, then maybe look into that, but just start with the swimsuits because I felt as though that would have been the easiest thing to begin with. But boy, was I wrong. So
how so?
Because sewing lycra or polymade fabric,
that fabric,
it's very difficult to sew. It's not like cotton that stays in one place.
Right.
That fabric, you have to literally restrain it as you're sewing. So it's very challenging to sew. And I learned it very early on. The crazy part about this whole thing is my very first swimsuit I made, I used to attend the Bahamas Dance Theater.
Yes.
So, you know, attending the theater, they would have shows every year and we would wear costumes. One of the costumes that I had, it was out of the lycra fabric, which they used to make the swimsuits with. And I was like, maybe I'm not going to use this costume anymore. I should cut this up and make a swimsuit out of it. So that was like what I used the very first time I made a swimsuit.
Wow. So you also sew?
Yes.
So you hand make most of your products?
No. In the beginning, when I first started, I used to make a lot of the products. But as time progressed, I realized that I wanted to be more so a designer rather than a seamstress or a tailor.
Okay.
You know, in this country, I feel as though a lot of people have a misunderstanding.
Yeah, they feel like the two are one.
Yes. They feel like, you know, if you're a design, you sew, you know, that kind of way. And that's far from the truth.
Okay.
So, yeah, as I realized that a lot of people they were getting like conflicted with what it is that I was actually doing, I decided to take a step back. And another reason why as well was because I felt as though a lot of people don't respect seamstress or tailors.
Facts, 100%. I agree with that.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what, let me part ways with this quickly before it be comes too late.
Yeah, before you get stuck in a box. And they think like, use the seamstress. Let me bring what I want and you bring it to life. Okay, wonderful. So do you remember the first, I guess, line you ever launched or collection you ever launched? And looking back on it, what inspired you and what you should have done differently?
Oh, I could remember that as clear.
Okay.
So the very first collection I would have made, well, how I really got launched into fashion, at the time in Nassau, they used to have this competition called Fash Art.
Yes, I remember that.
And it was a fashion and art competition. So some people had to make fashion design pieces, whereas other people had to display their art.
Yeah, like paint or mold, right? I remember
So I was a part of the fashion segment, obviously, and we had to come up with at least 4 to 6 designs for our collection. And I came up with a collection, and I just remember it being just so... It was a mess. It was a mess. However, I won the competition surprisingly.
Okay.
Surprisingly, I won the competition, but when I look back at those stuff, it was definitely amateur hour at its best. Trust me.
But sometimes that is you just need that. You just need that first amateur experience. So what did winning that inspire you to do, or how did it trampoline you into this, if it did at all?
Oh, it did in a major way because it really gave me the courage to keep on going.
Okay,
like, this was my very first competition. I barely knew anything about fashion. I barely knew how to make, what's it called? We have to make patterns.
Yes, the patterns for them to cut with.
Yes,
right.
I barely knew how to make patterns at that time. And all of that was a learning experience for me. And to see that I won that competition with very little knowledge, that just pushed me to continue going. And that led from one thing to the next. After that competition, I did a show in LA.
Okay, nice.
Yes, I was invited to a showcase in LA. I did that. The pieces were still very amateur. I did not know what I was doing. However, the crowd loved it. I even had people reaching out to me
to design stuff?
Not to design stuff, but at this point, like, I was so unaware of stuff within the industry that people were reaching out to me for product placement.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's how I actually got into manufacturing, because if someone is asking you for product placements, you definitely cannot sew all of the items.
Yeah.
You're as a seamstress, tailor, designer, whatever you want to call it, if someone is reaching out to you for product placements, they more than likely want more than one item. So it all depends on whatever bulk they want. You yourself cannot provide that volume for them. So you have to find ways and means to get it to them. So that's how I got into manufacturing, actually. So it was a help for me. No, I did not provide anybody with any products for their stores, but it just definitely opened up my eyes to a different avenue in ways that I could do things.
Like how big this industry actually is, even with you being from Freeport.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
That's amazing. So now today you have a website. You be featured in Fashion Week here in Freeport. You have persons like Miss Bahamas and this one wearing your pieces. What is something you would tell your younger self back then?
I would tell my younger self back then that the sky is truly not the limit. You could go further. You could go so much further.
You go to space.
Yes, you could go, like, the Bible say that so a man thinketh, so is he. So whatever it is that you could imagine or think of as it relates to you, as it relates to your dreams, definitely know that it's definitely within reach. You're able to accomplish it. Nothing happens overnight. Everything is definitely a process, but don't give up. Keep going. Like, keep going. When I look back at when I started to where I am at now, I honestly and truthfully be in awe. In all honesty. Like, when I look back, I'd be like, wow, like, you come such a mighty long way. And I feel as though, like, we as people, we have to learn to take a step back and look at the journey and appreciate it. Yeah, take it in, because I feel as though, like, from day to day, we're so excited to get to the next level that we don't appreciate the now. So I would just tell my younger self to keep going. You're going to get there.
I love that. Okay, this is only the beginning of this amazing conversation. Stay locked in. We're going to stop for a short commercial break.
Hi everybody, I'm Jason.
And I'm Cheryl. Join us here on Superior Talk Bahamas YouTube channel every Tuesday at 6 for Let's Talk,
Where we talk about issues that matter to you. We try to come up with workable, practical solutions so we have more action and less talk.
See you on Tuesday.
Yes, and we're back here on Islandish Podcast, the Family Island Podcast. And we're reminding you right now to subscribe to the Superior Talk Network so you can catch this and all of our amazing shows available Monday through Thursday. Also, make sure you're subscribing, liking, commenting, all of that good stuff, and press the notification bell so you'll be notified when the next episode drops. Now, back to Mr. McCoy. So, Richie, I see the hats, I see the brands, and I have to tell you, a lot of your pieces, I love.
Thank you.
When I say love, I mean love. But I do have to admit, it's made me a little nervous. So, for person two, ordering online or ordering from you for the first time, what are some of the things you've done or you try to do when trying to do like mass production? Like when you have a website and people are trying to reach you to purchase pieces and stuff like that. And you know, Bahamian says complain about every day. So what are some of the hurdles and things you've had to go through as a fashion designer to launch and keep your brand going?
Well, in the beginning, when I first launched my website, I used to do drop shipping.
Okay.
I did that over the pandemic. And to be honest with you, I made a lot of money. However, drop shipping, you tend to come up shorter. Like you don't come out on top with drop shipping.
Explain.
Yeah. So the people who are providing the products for you, they would make most of the money.
Gotcha.
And
yeah.
another thing is too, the quality of the products aren't that good. So for me, what I did after I realized that it was not working out for me, I looked into manufacturers and I started having my stuff shipped here into Grand Bahama. And what I would do is I would now export them.
Yourself?
So yes.
Okay.
So I would use FedEx and DHL to export the products. So I ship into the United States and into Nassau and any one of the family islands. But all the products that I have that's on my website, they're actually located here in Grand Bahama.
Love that.
So if you're on the island and you want to purchase, I could deliver to you or you could pick it up from me. And yeah.
I love that because a lot of persons, especially now, everybody trying to get into this small business thing. And a lot of people are going through trial and errors. So to hear someone say, I get my stuff in and I just have to ship that myself, you know? So what is that like in terms of how reliable is the FedEx and DHL here in Freeport? Not to bash them as a company, but a lot of people, they feel like, man, I have to ship it through the US. I have to like put my stuff on Amazon. I have to do it this way so it could be legit. But how efficient is it using services available here on the island?
Well, crazy enough, a few years back, I think this was during the pandemic when I was dealing with the drop shipping.
Okay.
I have a friend in Nassau who she has a hair care brand.
Okay.
And both me and her, we did Fashion Art together.
Okay.
And this is why it's good to be connected to people. I reached out to her and I was like, I see you shipping your products into the United States. How do you go about that? So she said to me, Rich, I went into FedEx one day. I told them that I'm going to be frequently shipping stuff out. Could I open an account? And also, could you guys provide me with a discount? And they provided her with a discount.
Wow.
And she said, yeah, you should look into doing the same exact thing. So I did that. I went into FedEx and I was like, hey, I have a clothing brand. I'm going to be shipping things so frequently. Is it possible for me to open an account and you guys to give me a discount? And they honestly did. They didn't slap up with doing that. They gave me 30% off. However, it's still a little bit on the pricey side, but you have to know how to work the system.
Right, okay.
So for the most part, I'm telling you guys my secret. What I do is I would attach a bit of the shipping cost into the product cost.
Of course.
So when you go on the site and you see that, okay, I'm charging X, Y, and Z for shipping, please note that there is some shipping costs in the product as well. So if you be like, oh, it's too expensive, that's because some shipping cost is in there.
Yeah, and it's the overhead for business in general.
Yes. So it's just definitely ways in which you could work around the system and have it work out for you.
I love that. Okay, so what are some persons who well, there's a lot of people there in the Bahamas, but what are some people you would like to see or you would love to design for one day? Not just locally, but also internationally. So, for example, with me, with my podcast, I'd hope one day to interview someone like Cuban and Grow.
Nice.
That's someone like I'd really want to interview. I feel like he's a big chunk of history, and that's someone I really want to sit down and talk to. So what would be someone for you who you would really love to, I'd love to design this person. Like, I know they'll wear what I have really, really well. Or you just say anybody at this point?
No, not anybody.
God,
Definitely
I know
not
that.
anybody. Not anybody, but you know, I've never sit and think about that. Like, I've never thought that, oh, this person, I have to see them in my garment. I'm sure every designer wants Rihanna in a piece.
Of course.
I'm sure. So for me to say that would be like, Rich, really?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of way. But somebody within the Bahamas, maybe I think would definitely be an honor to address one of the Prime Minister's wives.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I think that would be a very great opportunity for me. I would definitely be down for something like that.
Yeah.
I don't have a specific first lady that I would like to design for, but I would definitely love that opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why, but for some reason, all of our first, we call them first ladies, right? All of our first ladies have an air of like just class with them. I feel like that's the standard, and I think we need to keep that. You know, they are Bahamian looking women, and they're classy, and they're always well kept. So I agree with that. That's a
maybe
good
for
one.
opening the house.
Yes,
so
yes,
nice.
or a church service, an inaugural one for independence.
Yes, that would be really nice.
Yes, yes, for sure, for sure. So what are some things persons can, or what are some pieces that people really like from you, or something that's been like a hot seller for you?
My hot seller, for me, to be honest, has been my straw bucket hat.
Yes, a lot of people love those hats.
Purchased those. As of lately, I've been having a sale on my shirts, so a lot of those have been selling more frequently. But those hats, I don't know what's with the hats, but the women love them.
I can tell you what it is with the hat. Listen, if you have never seen that Rich McCoy, it's the McCoy hat. All Freeport girls, you know about the McCoy hat. It has an air of, like, it's like a Coco Chanel kind of like A-class, but it's so simple. That's what makes it so classy. Like, it ain't like a bucket hat with doing too much, but it's just enough. It's sleek, and then how you have the logo in gold, right? Oh, that gold right there is be like, yeah, put me by privilege pool. I'm ready, you know? That's why I like it. So, and it's such good quality. Someone gifted me one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like that's like a key gift. Like, I've had that on my Secret Santa for years. Someone finally bought it for me for Secret Santa. So it was really, really nice, and I have it. I don't even like to wear it because I don't want to get messed up. And I don't even like to take pictures in it because I save enough when I do a real photo shoot.
I love
and
it.
do like a, you know, like a, hey, I am the Rich McCoy. But it's a really nice hat. And that's one thing I could say about your design. And no offense to no other Bahamian designs, but yours has that air of, I'm doing too much. It's just enough.
That's enough.
Yeah. Because, you know, like sometimes the designs on some Bahamian shirts will be like, yeah, I don't want all of that color. It's be like, it's just enough. And it's very distinctive. I have to give you your hats off for that.
Thank you.
So with that being said, what helps you come up with these different designs? Like, what's your inspiration sometimes? Like, do you travel to get inspired, or, you know, everybody have their thing?
To be honest with you, I study luxury brands. I study the ins and the outs of luxury. I feel as though the Bahamas has the ability to be on the world stage as it relates to fashion. I feel as though we
100%.
are very much so fashionable people. When I look at a Bahamian woman and how she carry herself, I am so inspired. Like, I don't care what nobody say. I feel like Bahamian women are so top tier.
Yes.
So I study luxury brands, and I see where they don't do too much, they do just enough.
Yeah.
And I try to bring that to my brand as best as possible.
I like that. You're very right. Because that's why you could spot Bahamians sometimes when they out, like even when you're in the US, is be like, you have some Bahamian in you because you know? I love it. I love it. So we're going to take our next commercial break, and then we come back, we're going to dive even deeper into the mind of this amazing fashion designer.
Yo, what's up, Bahamas? My name is Andrew Williams, aka Cat.
And I'm your boy Mix.
And we're representing Off the Bench, the #1 talk sportcast in the Bahamas.
In the world, my boy.
My bad partner. So we cover anything sports throughout the Bahamas. We cover our Bahamian athletes wherever they are, and they're making waves in sports. We cover them.
Hey, just tune in. That's every Wednesday here on Superior Talk at 6:00 p.m.
The #1 talk show in the world, Craig.
So we're back with Islandish Podcast here with Richard Shepherd. But you guys, make sure you're following Islandish 242 on social media. Get to it. Also, Richie, how can they reach you and what's the name of your website and also your social media?
So you could visit my website at www.richiemccoy.com. All of my handles are basically the same script across the board. So Richie McCoy official for the clothing brand, Richie McCoy for my personal page, and also for my TikTok, it's Richie McCoy.
Love it, love it, love it. So when it comes to, because now we're talking about social media. So when it comes to you and content and photography and all that good stuff, what is the process like releasing a collection? Because I know even with the one with the hat, the straw hat, it was a whole line. Like you had a whole photo shoot, you had everything going on. So what is that? What's that process like? And the reason why I'm asking is we have persons who are viewing, who are trying to be inspired, trying to get into this field, and it's like, I really have to do all that, or I could just AI it. Like, which one make more sense? So talk to them about that process and how much really goes into it.
Well, first off, definitely do not AI it.
Okay.
Do not AI it. But in all honesty, it's a lot. Like, it's so much to the point where with my last collection, after I was completed with that, I sat down and I was like, Lord, if this is what you have for me to do, send me a team.
Right, okay.
Because this is a lot, especially for what it is that I see for the brand and the quality of work that I like to put out.
Right.
It's a lot. I am literally all of the heads in operation. I wear all the hats. And to run an actual fashion house, it does not operate like that.
Right, yeah.
You know, so I have to be the designer. I have to be the sound person. I have to be the creative director.
Yeah.
I have to be the sketcher. It's just so much that goes into it. And a lot of people, I feel as though they don't appreciate what goes into the process of doing this type of stuff. It's honestly and truthfully a lot. So the last thing that I would have released would have been my Revival in Paradise collection. And the reason why it was called Revival in Paradise is because I was on a hiatus for about 2 years.
Okay.
And I just wanted to come back, but come back strong.
Got you,
I
yes.
wanted to make a statement that when I do return, a lot of people be like, oh, wow, he came back with vengeance. You know, that kind of way. And like I say, it's a process. I had to sketch out all the pieces. And for me, my process is sketch out the pieces, think about fabric and colors after.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not like most people who probably, they would look at a color or they would look at an object and be like, we're going to go with this. No, I start with my designs first, then I go into colors and I go into fabrics. And then I tie everything in together because with fashion, you're actually telling a story.
Right, okay.
So that was basically the process. I'm thankful for my team of persons who always come through for me. I have to shout out Alfred Anderson and D'Angelo
and D'Angelo,
because those are my backbone people when it comes to me and this brand. And I honestly have to give them their flowers because they helped me so much during that process. And Alfred has been helping me for years. I always tell him, I say, Alfred, you have literally helped me build this brand, you know, that kind of way. And I definitely have to give them their flowers because it's a lot that goes into it. And yeah, it's definitely a lot. Like I say, from the sketching to creating the actual prototypes of the looks and dealing with the models, just coming up with everything. It's a process. I'm not saying it to discourage nobody, but I want you to know that it's definitely not something that's easy, and it's definitely not something that you could do in one setting.
Or by yourself, apparently.
By yourself, yeah. Like you have to collaborate with people. It takes months of planning, literally months. ahead of time, like for that last collection, I think I started designing that back in August of 2021.
That's long.
Right.
Yeah.
I wasn't finished with that collection until August 2022.
Right.
And we didn't film it until November 2022. And it didn't release until June 2023. So it's definitely a process.
And you have to hang in there.
Listen, you have to keep going.
Keep on keeping on.
Trust me.
I love that. And I like the fact that you said it took more than just you at a certain point. Maybe not in the beginning, but you did get to a point where it was like, I need to bring certain people on. And with that being said, do you think having more than one person's opinion on your designs have helped you to get better? Or you just go with, like, I like it, this is what I draw, so I can just go with it? Like, do you get outside input and critiques as you're designing?
You definitely need outside critiques and inputs. No man is an island. I try not to have an ego. I try not to be prideful because at the end of the day, I'm designing these clothes for people. I'm not designing them for me.
Right.
You know, so my best friend, she also plays a huge role in the process. I would show her the stuff and be like, let me know what you think, yay or nay. She is very much so into fashion, just like I am, and she is a woman. Right. For the most part, most of the pieces are women pieces. Yeah, yeah. So she'll be able to say, you know what, Richard, this work, this doesn't work. You know, that kind of way, and I have to be okay with that. Yeah. But what I would also do is I would get maybe 3 opinions from 3 different people that I value. Alfred would also be one of them. Yes. I know he's going to be clear cut with me. He's not going to try to save your feelings. Save my feelings. And in all honesty, when it comes to business and stuff like that, it's needed. It's needed. So yeah, I definitely do get outside input. Because a lot of y'all need that, you know, and I could tell. I could tell with these business ideas, these flyers, the name of some of these bars and clubs, y'all ain't have no real friends. Y'all ain't have no one to sit you down and be like, baby, this ain't it. I love you, but this ain't it. Like, that's fine, you know? And like you say, sometimes you can't take it personal. No, you can't. Because in all honesty, in order for you to get better, you need that input. When I first started out designing, Alfred, I love you, so if you're watching this. When I first started out designing, I remember I showed Alfred a design, and he said to me, Rich, I look bad. Rich, I look bad. And I had to swallow that. I remember I got so angry. I got so angry and frustrated with him to the point, we had a back and forth. But I had to sit down with that, and I was like, Rich, if he didn't love you, he would not have told you the truth. He would have been a yes man and be like, you know that was good. And even now when I look back at it, it's like, I thank God for this man because that did look stink. It did look stink, 1, and 2, you wouldn't have gotten to the level that you're at now. You know, that kind of way. So I think a lot of people need to take that into consideration. Trust me, it's not good to be prideful. Yeah, especially with your art. One thing I know, people who are creative minds, whether it's design, painting, drawing, photography, y'all are very sensitive when it comes to your things that y'all create. So letting people okay, let me brace for this opinion. You know, I know that must be hard, but like you said, it helps you be better. Yeah, and it just helps you to be better. And then another thing is too, he's a creative as well. Right. So what my eye doesn't see, his eye definitely sees. Right. So my advice to anybody in business, go to somebody that's in the same line of business like you. However, make sure the person is genuine though. Right, I will say that. Just make sure they ain't a hater. Yes. Yes. I love that. So this has been a great conversation, and as we get ready to wrap up, I just want to know what final words of encouragement or upliftment you have for anybody who is currently designing or interested in being a designer. The words of encouragement that I would give anybody is, first of all, just start. Just start. Nobody is an expert at anything in the beginning. I had to tell myself this a few weeks back. I played tennis. Okay. And in the beginning of me playing my first tennis training, this was an actual game. I was so terrible. I went home and I was like, maybe the same for you. Maybe the same. And I had to say to myself, Rich, you're not going to be a pro on the first day, on the first try. You have to go through a process. So I would tell anybody who wants to design, just start. The sketch might not be the best in the beginning. The design might not be the best in the beginning, but just keep going. As you keep going, you will perfect everything over time. You know, Gucci didn't start out at the level that Gucci is at. Louis did not start out at the level that Louis Vuitton is at. And these are things that I honestly tell myself, you know, because in our minds, we're so excited to get to the end.
Yeah.
Like I say that we don't appreciate the journey. Like, you know, appreciate the process. You're going to get there.
Yeah.
You're going to get there. Whether you believe it or not, you are definitely going to get there. So just start and just know that, you know, you are more than able to do whatever it is that you put your mind to. And be encouraged.
And that's coming from Richie McCoy, baby. You can send that to the bank. Thank you so much for joining us for this amazing conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to leave your comments below. If you would like to get in touch with Richie, you'll know what to do. It's Richie McCoy Official on social media. Richie McCoy. Trust me, you can know it. You can see that pretty R and that pretty M. That's my guy. Make sure y'all hit him up. Thank you so much for sitting here with me this afternoon, today. And thank you guys. Stay tuned for the next episode of Islandish Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Bye.